Board of Trustees regular meeting, Tuesday, May 12th, Town Hall, Council Room, 6 p.m. Call to order and roll call, please.
Randy?
Here.
John?
Here.
Bert?
Here.
Harold?
Here.
David?
Report from Town of Hennessey ad hoc agencies. I know you guys had a meeting. I just wasn't able to make it. Harold, do you have?
Yes, the Hennessey
Harold was
United.
there.
Harold was.
I was here, but I don't remember what they talked about. Wine festival.
Yeah.
Pretty much that was the bulk of it. Some changes they wanted to make and things like that for this year.
All right.
And then Harold's go-kart.
Yeah, the go-kart race is the 24th, July 24th and 25th.
Awesome. I think those were a big hit last year.
Hmm.
So those were a big hit last year. So number 3, consider approval of the consent agenda. 3.1, approval of the minutes of the previous month's meeting. 3.2, approval of claims as follows. General Fund, $25,921.70. RSTF, $43,773.45. Previous month's claims, $1,814.74. Town Treasurer's Report. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Randy?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Harold?
Yes.
Bert?
Yes.
Scribbling blank.
Okay. Number 4, citizens' comments.
Sorry, I have one. I have a question about what the red code thing, the call when, they see the tornado or whatever. So if we switch to some other, service, I mean, because when they call, it's
They
something
switched.
that it's like 5 minutes and then it's like, and Hennessey. That the weather is gonna be bad.
They switched
Have
platforms.
any of you all not had that experience?
No, I get the phone calls as well. So I was told that Code Red, the company that we used, was purchased by another company, and that their thing is the weather updates.
Yeah, I got
So-
like 3 and. there was
Yeah,
a-
yeah.
I think
the
I
calls.
got
And
it to
I'm
where
like-
now it only is if we're in a severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning is the only time that it will notify you now.
Okay.
And there's some data, because they brought over some data from the old system, and so sometimes it has people like triplicated. So I've got to go in there and update, like take out.
I get them twice.
Mm-hmm.
So we're stuck with this, is what you're saying?
Not necessarily. It's a more difficult system, and so there'll probably be something. I've seen some different avenues we can go, and so I really think that we'll probably end up switching.
Okay.
I was told that there's a way to create a login to go in and turn off the phone calls and the text messages if you choose.
Oh,
I'm
and
just-
you would still get,
I'm not sure. I was told there's a way. Someone had told me about a way to call their support and created an account and got it all turned off, but I'm not sure what that process looks like. So I haven't done it personally.
Where you go on our website and you sign up, there's a place on our website to sign up. Angie put it on there. You can also do, if you remember your code red line sign up or any information like that, then you can sign up that way too. Or just enroll your phones that way. So,
Can you
Okay.
still,
or you can call us and I can manually go in there and take your phones out too. I know we've had some people do that. I know John Mises is one of them that is like, you've got to, you got to do something. And so I've been in there working.
Okay.
But there's a lot better systems out there since they were bought out.
yeah, because there was one of them that was so long, I don't know if you were on this. It was so long that I thought, it's a good thing I didn't have to get in the closet because it's only 3 feet away, but I've been listening to this.
Oh, it's as soon as I get them, I kind of mute them.
Mhm.
Most of the time, I already know what's going on with weather. So
Right, yeah, but you have that advantage.
Sure.
That I'm like, okay. All right, thanks.
yeah, no problem. Okay, number 5, town administrators report.
They've started the Mitchell Road project. We're gonna be able to, as, we'll discuss here in a minute when we do change orders. We'll be able to, since we got the state money for the phase 2, we'll be able to roll the, phase 2 with the phase 1, so they'll do it all at one time. The state was in agreement because we were covering the same amount of length of road as it is in the second one, so it would be the same bid. So we were just able to do that. Other than that, the bulk water station is up and going. We got started this week. Our water meters are now online for us. And Melissa and I did our first training yesterday, and so we're in there messing with the system. Once we get a little bit more trained, we have training with Alyssa. Alyssa will be back in town next week, so she's gonna go through training and we'll go through training again. And then we'll do our first billing where we pull all the reads for our first billing next week. So we won't actually have to go around and get all those in our trucks next week. So and then once we get trained, then Jack's gonna come in and do like a educational thing for everyone to be able to see. We've already been able to call people and go, hey, we show that you've had continuous flow for 24 hours. We just want to let you know. One was a garden hose was left on, and she's turned it off, and sure enough, we were able to see that she turned it off. Another one, we called, or I messaged one this morning, and they were like, well, we fixed some valves, and I'm like, well, it's still showing it's leaking, so they were going to go look tonight. Another one, they can't find the leak, but they've been leaking for a while, so we're gonna work with him tomorrow and see if we can't figure that out. But it is coming in useful.
Great.
For that, we're able to see all of that data. There's a lot of data, of course, when you convert data, there's some hiccups in that. So right now, we're trying to go in and clean up a lot of stuff to be able to run smoothly.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
that's pretty much.
That's good.
And then I've been working on budget, so we'll have our budget hearing. I was gonna ask you guys, would you rather have to go through budget, would you rather have that on a separate night than the regular board meeting? That way we can look at it more in depth and not feel rushed or anything like that. So that's one question that I have, because I do have to post it in the paper when we're gonna have it.
Okay.
So,
Do we usually have that? That's usually in June?
yes.
Okay.
Everything has to be approved and done by June 15th.
Okay.
So.
I'm okay either way, if we want to do it a regular night or.
Didn't we do the separate meeting last year?
We possibly did. And sometimes we had to because our board meeting and the postings, it's hard to get it in there, but we can have it
I'm okay
anytime
either
now.
way, or either way too.
I was
Yeah.
thinking in the past, we did it before the board meeting,
So,
started like at 5:30 instead of,
Yeah, because I
Six.
missed it last time.
yeah. Well, I know, but I was thinking of a whole different night,
Sure.
so that way people won't feel rushed.
Okay.
So, Harold, what do you think?
I'm fine with either day.
No preference?
No.
I'm out of town the entire first week of June, so,
So maybe we'll just do it board meeting night.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Move to other scheduled business, 6.1, discussion with possible action on the pay scale for fiscal year 26 and 27.
So I spoke with Randy and we talked about doing I know last meeting, you guys, we had the pay scale that we gave out last meeting, and you guys said we needed to extend it. And so, when Randy and I spoke, it was maybe and also not necessarily just a set pay, like a pay range. So what I have come up with starting is like a $2,000-3,000 for the positions, $4,000 range, that it could start with the starting wage. Like we would keep people now at what they're making, but from future, it would have a starting range depending on their education, their experience, and things like that. Then every year, have it in there where they could get up to a 3% increase, based on performance. I've been working on some, performance evaluation forms. I think I sent those out to you guys too. That we can do, and then that way, everybody has to have a performance evaluation prior to their, anniversary date. And that, based on the numbers on their performance evaluation, is what type of raise they would get. That way, if we have somebody, I've been talking a lot to my husband because he's an administrative, and does a lot of, evaluations through the state. And like, they have like people who are just like, they just do their job, what it says, nothing extra, nothing less. So they're just kind of average. And then they have people who would go above and beyond, and then they have people who don't perform. And so I really think that we need to do something with that. I don't know what it would look like, but I think at this point, I
feel like and we obviously, we had this discussion, Jared also was involved, but, I think we need some sort of incentive or be able to incentivize those employees that go above and beyond. And the set scale that we have right now is just cut and dry. Whether you're at the bottom of your performance or the top of your performance, it's exactly the same. And there's no incentive there to go above and beyond. And we have people that go above and beyond now, and I want to be able to reward them. And in order to keep those employees, we're going to have to be able to reward them and incentivize them to want to stay with the town of Hennessey. So, and with our current scale, I feel like once you've been here for a certain amount of years, you're punished for being here for a certain amount of years because it's capped. And I don't feel like that's right. We should be celebrating those that want to stay here for 10, 20, 30 years. We want those people to stay here. The knowledge that they've gained over those years, you can't put a price on that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
and right now, we've got a really good group. And
Yes.
so I think the town is very fortunate right
The
now.
more people we can keep in that group, the better off we're going to be.
Yes.
So, that's what makes Hennessey Hennessey is the people. That's not any different as far as employment goes or anything else. So.
Any comments on what I?
I haven't got a chance to
Okay.
really go through it
Okay.
yet. So I seen it come across. I just haven't had a chance.
And that's fine, we can, do it more later. It was hard for me, I said, and even on the performance, I wanted a performance evaluation form to go along with the change in the salary scale so that we have it hand in hand and we kind of know what
Yeah. So,
we're doing, so.
well, thank you for putting that together. I apologize. I haven't been able to look at it yet. So.
That's okay.
I think
And
the
it-
town is finally a place where it's not, people have to work for the town, they want to work for the town, and what you're talking about, Randy, will only enhance that,
And we've got a great group, and if we have other towns that want to come and try to poach our employees, at that opportunity, I feel like we've done you a disservice as a board by not giving you the tools to be able to do what you need to do to retain them. Because right now our pay scale is cut and dry, and without a special meeting or the board, you're not going to be able to make any give them any opportunities to want to stay. And not any board member can do that. So I feel like with those decisions, we've given you the option to hire and fire. Why haven't we given you that ability to also do those things? So to retain our employees to some degree. No, I'm not, obviously that's
Yes.
got to have some sort of limits on it, but I'm just.
It does, and that's, like Alyssa's our director of public works, and so if somebody else wants a director of public works, Alyssa's still here, like to further their career, sometimes you do have to go. You know, just like, you know, Shelley, she may want to go be a city manager somewhere. And in order, if I'm still here, then she would have to go, I mean, so we are limited by that,
Sure,
but
sure. No, and I understand that part, but as far as if they made a lateral move
yes.
to the same position, we have to be able to be competitive. And, you know, an employee's worth whatever somebody's willing to pay them. And so we've got great employees, and I would like to keep, you know, everyone,
Yes.
so. Okay.
So we can table that till next.
Yeah, I think we'll table that.
And if you have any questions on it or anything, please come see me.
'Cause-
Please come see me so we can kind of like
Sure.
talk and do different things to it before the meeting, so.
Yeah, and, so this would go in effect with our budget, and we would make that change to the
So what I did
handbook
with-
as well.
Yes, but what I did with the budget is I implemented the 3%,
Okay.
like for everybody that's currently working, I implemented 3%. And so, I mean, and a budget's just a budget, it's not something set in, set in stone, we can do budget amendments or whatever. But, I was trying, because in our handbook, it says that we will do this every year, so this way, we're gonna start approving like a scale or whatever every year, so that way.
Well, and you will have to, you know, it'll, obviously, the handbook's a living document, and we want our pay scale to be, you know, the cost of living is constantly changing, so we have to keep up with that as well.
Yes, the price, in the CPI over the past year went up like 3.2%, and so we're just still stale, you know,
Yeah, just keeping up.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody got anything else? Nope. All right, we'll move on to 6.2, discussion with possible action to approve budget amendments number 3 through number 8.
These are the ones that we tabled last month because they didn't get put on the agenda, or the agenda that you guys had didn't have them. There was some confusion with the agenda, so these are the same ones from last month.
Okay, well, they're locking me up.
I
Or
did
has
that.
paper.
I had
Or
to
has
read
paper.
Do
it.
they not all have paper?
I've just got the,
I just made,
Oh, I didn't know what all the paper was on.
I don't know. There it is, cause I got mine wrong. That's utility.
Bert, do you mind, since you've got it?
So you want me to walk through them?
Yes, please.
Okay, so budget amendment form 3 is for the general fund. It increases the police fines, the revenue for the police fines, because they have went above and beyond what we projected budget-wise this year with the fines. And then the following departments needed some increase in funds. Streets, public works, on the general fund side, personnel services, and then the parks, materials and supplies, the general government, services and charges, and then the museum senior citizen. I do know that the senior citizens, we didn't project as much electricity and stuff like that, so the new budget is gonna reflect more, cause this is our first year to have that. And also the personal services and public
One
works,
second.
this was the first year that we had split the two. We had put them all into one group, and so, it was a little bit, and also our computer system didn't do it right at first. But now we've got that all figured out. Budget amendment 4 is restricted sales tax. We brought in increased the revenue from the CDBG grant that we received. It got put into the CDBG, so we put it into restricted where it got paid out of. And then the police capital outlay that helped finish the car, and then the fire department, that was the one,
Air packs.
yes, air packs and stuff. Number 5 is for the library fund. What happened, or this is for the Dropbox. We got the revenue of 4,000, and so we had to increase the appropriations to cover the price of the Dropbox. CDBG, that was transferred to restricted. That's where we transferred those funds to restricted. Since it wasn't a budgeted item, we had to increase the budget item. The money was there, we just had to increase it.
Okay.
Snyder Trust, this is the senior citizens, this is where we help them. It wasn't budgeted out of that fund, so we had to increase the appropriation for that to cover the tables and the different work that we did down there to get it up to par. Then, budget amendment number 8 is for the juvenile fund. This is to cover the fun with the fuzz or
Cops and kids.
cops and kids. They changed it. Not fun with the fuzz, but now it's cops and kids. So this was to help get the items and stuff for that.
Do we need to approve these individually, or can we approve these as a?
I think you can do it the way you've got the agenda, I think you can do it as a block.
Okay.
Just specifically mention 3 through 8 or
Okay.
whatever.
Make a motion to approve budget amendments for fiscal year 2026, 3 through 8.
Second,
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
yes.
Harold,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
6.3, discussion with possible action to approve change order number 1 for Mitchell Road, MRDAF SAP 237F111 LG grant with Rudy Construction, extending the project to utilize the entire budget for phase 1, increasing the contract price from $100,350 to $658,671.50.
I think I did that wrong. No, the change order is in the amount. So it went from, I don't remember, it increased by, increasing the contract by, there should be a by in there.
Okay.
But, so when they came in with the bids were much lower than what they projected. And so we were able to get an additional 365, looks like 365 linear feet of road. And so we were able to go out further. So
Okay.
that's what this is to do a budget amendment to add that little section to their contract.
Awesome.
Okay. This thing's acting weird today. Okay. I make a motion to approve change order number 1 for Mitchell Road, MRDAF SAP 237F LG grant with Rudy Construction, extending the project and to utilize the entire budget for phase 1.
Second,
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
yes.
Harold,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
6.4, discussion with possible action to approve change order number 2 for Mitchell Road, MRDAF road improvement, incorporating the phase 2 work to utilize the 2026 ODOT funds, increasing the contract by $650,161 for a total of $1,308,832.50.
I move to approve the change order number 2 for Mitchell Road, MRDAF, incorporating the phase 2 work to increase the contract by $650,161 for a total of $1,308,832.50.
Second.
Bert,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
6.5, discussion on Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, OMAG, stance on event insurance coverage.
So were you guys able to review that, that little video that was on it?
Every time I open mine up, PDFs, they won't, the screen goes black.
Okay. So, what they're saying that is if the town, in order on town property, and they came out with this on the 16th of April. And it was kind of last minute before the car show, so I, put it on the agenda today. What they're saying is we've got a lot of, I guess, municipalities that are having special events take place on their property, not necessarily hosted by the town of Hennessey. So, or the towns. So what their stance is about insurance is that if a group has a event on municipal property and it's not not a town sponsored event, then that group has to have a special event insurance coverage with the town listed as an additional insured. So I'm bringing this to you guys because they sent this out, and so to me, we're made aware of it now, and so what you guys do is totally up to you. Jared?
Yeah, I mean, most places would go into this, you grab that extra insurance policy, the sponsor of the event grabs that extra insurance policy, generally have it be up to the, threshold of the Tort Claims Act. And then that way, if something happens for their event while they're on city property, we're covered outside of that because of course our OMAG policy isn't gonna cover any loss to them, and we might be in a precarious spot because it's on our property, we're gonna get sued, any good plaintiff's attorney's going to do that. So we wanna make sure we've got as much coverage out there as we can. I know Watauga, just because of that same thing, just updated their policy a month or so ago. So I know plenty of places are looking at it. Yeah, it's an extra cost on all of these great events that you want to have and you want to encourage people to do. But unfortunately, it's the world we live in that you gotta start to consider the other side of it a lot more now too.
A question or two. Let's go back to the car show, and part of it definitely was on our property. Part of it's on the streets, which is state property per se. Would that come,
What streets?
well, the cars were shown on Main
On
Street,
Main.
just parked in the parking places. Now, things we had at the pavilion and things like that, definitely, I assume would come under that.
And our city streets that are not on the state highway.
Okay,
Right ahead.
right.
Probably stuff for the stuff on the highway, because it's a US highway too, I would think, honestly, I need to go look and see what like Kingfisher does for the chamber parades and all of that, because that's exact same setup there. It's
Exactly.
a private entity doing it on those streets, but I know for a fact the chamber goes out there and gets insurance policies. I would probably say, just to cover our bases, we go ahead and require it there as well, because again, we're gonna get drug into it.
Of
Like,
course.
it's just inevitable.
Of course.
Right.
So we wanna
Right,
make sure we're
this
protected.
department, set Oklahoma somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think ODOT would probably say they wanna be an additional insured too in that instance.
They haven't come out there yet because we get permission from them to shut
Right,
down
and
part of the road, and so it probably has not come through
Right,
the,
that's what I was
the
gonna say.
pipes yet.
I'm working on an event with a university, and the university's attorneys told them specifically, do not put the university on as an additional insured. I still don't understand why, but it may be a state entity versus local, but there may be something there that it is a little different, why they might not care about it as much, but I would say at the very least, we would want, again, I hate to say that, yeah, we need to make these events cost a little bit more, but those policies, I don't think they're generally very much.
That was gonna be my question. Do you know about what these cost?
I wouldn't even wanna start trying to quote a
Okay.
price.
I think we checked on it last year, I think it was about almost $3,000.
That seems higher than I would, cause see, the number, since we're throwing numbers out, I'll throw one out, I would've guessed around $1,000 or so. Still a decent amount of money, but for a, roughly $2 million policy, that isn't horrible.
Yeah.
But it's real money for these, public free events that you're just trying to bring people down. So,
So now I have a question, Jared. So if the town was able to use their, like, our tourism and stuff like that. And Jack and I have been talking about this actual, the name Discover Hennessey, you know, which they do, Discover Hennessey is part of a tourism thing. Could Discover Hennessey, under the umbrella of the town of Hennessey, host a lot of these events? And then the town insurance be where we wouldn't have to get the additional insured?
I'd wanna look at all of the relationships a little closer. I mean, sure, there's probably a way, but how far do you wanna press your luck with OMAG and then start to look at things? Just a question, it's another part of
I'm
the
just-
balance.
yeah.
It's more important for you all
Well,
than us to figure out how that works.
You take the, you know, the car show,
Right.
you know, if it could just be a town-sponsored event where all the proceeds go into that portion of the
Right.
city, and
It fixes
then-
a lot of the concern.
yes. That's what I was looking at.
Well, what worries me is I'm afraid it's gonna get so difficult for people to use our town facilities that we've got a park up here that nobody's gonna use because it's cost prohibitive.
Yeah, and
We
I-
just didn't we just have a farmer's market? I thought I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
At the park.
Over the weekend.
I'm wondering if OMAG hasn't come out with this, maybe they should look into it where towns could buy an endorsement to put on their policy that would cover special events or something of that nature.
What does OMAG-
Just a blanket.
So what do they classify
liability.
as a special event, though? That's the question mark.
Well, I think really, for all intents and purposes, what we're talking about here is an event on city property that is not sponsored by the municipality itself. So I think you could get really broad and say anything, but clearly, there's going to be a limit, and that's a policy decision that you all would kind of have to make. Like, somebody rents out a pavilion for a birthday, are we really gonna say, hey, you gotta go get a $2 million insurance policy for that, versus we're gonna have 50 or 100 cars lining Main Street with food trucks and people running in and out of parking spaces? That's a little different. So I think there's gonna be some balance, but let's get a policy, let's start talking about it now so we can get a policy put in. That way we all know what it is, so we're not having to guess every single time. And then city staff is able to make that decision each time somebody comes in and says, hey, here's what I wanna do. You know,
Like a go-kart, you know, the guys, they'll have their own insurance.
yeah, so please put us on as an additional insured,
Yeah,
like that
and that
takes care
shouldn't
of
be
it.
that
Yeah, and
probably wouldn't be an
especially-
issue, but.
Yeah, some of those like that, like, they're gonna be used to it, fireworks companies, all of that, they're gonna be used to it. But it's, you know, just that little small community engagement
So you brought
entity.
fireworks up, so what happens if we set off fireworks? We have to have special insurance?
We get that every year when we buy the fireworks, but this year they're setting them off, and so we're listed as an additional insured on that. But they supply us, when we purchase the fireworks, we purchase insurance with it.
I mean, I just see this open a huge can of worms. From things like you said, Susie's 5-year-old birthday party, to
And
rodeos, to,
just like a lot of things,
Whatever.
it boils down to that risk tolerance, you know, I mean, cause we could go insanely too far where it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
And that
Easter egg
obviously
hunt.
wouldn't be smart.
yeah.
But
Oh,
you
that's
can,
good.
it's where do you wanna draw the line? And that's just something that I think right now it's more for discussion. Start thinking about it, because we're gonna need that guidance of where does the line get drawn? You know, and it could be, you know, 2 feet out there, it could be 2 miles out there, but you guys kind of make that call, and then we're able to draft things according to that. And then when we have questions, we come back to the ones who make the policy.
Jared, would it be, and this is just me thinking out loud, would it be feasible to, and that probably wouldn't work either. My question was going to be, would it be feasible to require entities that make a profit, charge an admission or whatever, to list the town, where the individual birthday parties, goodness, the school takes elementary kids fishing at our park every year. There's tons of things that,
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think something that I was trying to remember what we kind of ended up using in Watauga, because again, you want to have some kind of a line to say, and I think what we ended up using was something along the lines of, if you're using the property for what its real intended purpose is, we're not gonna make you go out and do something unless there's some insanely dangerous part to it. Like if you're using the streets for driving, regular cars on it, okay, great, that's fine, but now we're talking go-karts that are,
Burnouts.
revved up really fast and gonna be cutting corners sharper. That might be a bigger risk. So, that would be an exception to the general rule, but, so you're using a park to let kids go play on the playground. That's what a park's there for. No, that might be a line where we say, no, we're not gonna do that, but you're going to shut our streets down and, park vehicles on it. It starts to get a little outside of what we generally would have a street for, so, that's a line that I guess you can start to look at. Is it the one that works for Hennessey? I don't know, that's your call.
It'd be nice to look at a lot of it, see some policies and actually see what they are, 'cause the way you kind of describe it, anything that we do outside of our parks, if our firefighters wanna have a fundraiser, or a police department wants to have a fundraiser, and they do it on city property, they're gonna have to go have insurance.
Well,
And remember,
but
that's
but that
perfect
right
world.
there, they would be,
That
it
is
would be the city,
town-sponsored.
the
Well, I guess
city,
that's true.
because they're employees and
Yeah.
departments of the city.
But again, we're talking, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. Obviously, there's the perfect world for the attorney that wants absolutely no risk and says, you make everybody get a policy. I understand that's not legitimate. That would be the perfect world for someone in my role.
Yeah.
You all aren't in that role. You have to keep people a lot happier than I have to worry about. So you've got to find those balances, because I'm completely with you, Harold. It wouldn't make sense for every single thing to need one, but it probably makes sense for some things. So where's the happy medium that works?
What is the tort limit?
If I remember right, they just changed it, I think 2 million now. Does
Oh.
that sound right?
I think so.
Okay.
In the video, it states
I'll
like
watch that video.
what, limits and different things,
So, I wanna make sure I'm understanding. The town board would set a policy of what type of events would require the town to be named as an additional insurer. Can we get, either through you, through Tiffany, some feedback on recommendations, based on what other communities
Yeah,
are doing? Like,
absolutely. I can easily get you the Wisconsin one, because again, that just happened within the last
Okay.
month or so. We can, talk to Jim in Kingfisher, see what he's got there, but then, we'll go up north too and get some other smaller towns and see what they do as well. Because again, every little town does this stuff.
I don't want the citizens of Hennessey to ever get a lawsuit put on their property taxes or something of that nature because the town was not adequately covered.
Right.
That's where we would be quite responsible, I think, and want to prevent that. But
We could also
that's
get
why I'm
OMAG to
wondering if
come.
there's kind of like an individual would buy an umbrella policy. Is there anything for communities that would go above and beyond our limits of liability?
With a municipality, I honestly haven't worked with anybody outside of OMAG, and then just remember, it is unique in that, we keep talking about our insurance, it's really not insurance, it's a risk pool. So obviously a little different, so I think that's gonna complicate the idea of endorsements and the big umbrella and some of that, because
absolutely.
with it, we do have a pretty big umbrella. I mean, we got a big number of coverage there, up to your tort claim limits and all of that kind of stuff. But I don't know that adding an endorsement to say this other event that's somebody that's not a municipality, because remember, they're also a government entity that might get outside of the bounds of what they can even cover, because then they'd be sponsoring non-government entities. So there's a lot of complication there. But I think it's worth exploring. I mean, Tiffany just made the comment, maybe we can have them come and talk about it a little bit, say what they've seen in other communities. They like getting out and talking to people, so I bet they can.
It's like a go-kart, for example, you know, they got their own insurance. But when you go in that facility, there should be a sign posted at the gate that you enter these facilities at your own risk, blah, blah, blah. You know, then each driver has to sign a waiver saying, you know, it's like any racetrack, that if you get hurt, then you're on. But at the end of the day, when they get hurt, they still sue your ass.
Yeah,
You know?
it's, that waiver's only as good as the paper it's written on, and it doesn't stop somebody from suing you and you having to hire an attorney and spend money to.
When I had the speedway in Enid, I got sued 30 times in a year. You know? And once they introduced that paper to the court system, you know, it was upheld. But you still spend money to get that piece of paper up in front of the judge. You know, so and I had some pretty good accidents up there and some pretty good lawsuits. You know, but, you know, it still costs a lot of money. You know, for you know. The next thing you know, your insurance goes up.
Well, yeah, just to meet your deductible for each occurrence like that's real money, you know, so.
I mean, because we've been fighting, you know, the insurance on the car show deal has actually been going on for years. You know, we asked for insurance 2 or 3 years ago when we first started doing the car shows. And, you know, some of the biggest things that the draw to our car show is one of the most expensive things that some insurance won't even cover. You know? So that's what, you know, is bad about a lot of that. So.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. All the fun stuff is hard to insure.
You know, and it's still, no matter what happens, the town of Hennessey is going to be involved in the lawsuit.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So again, that's your role, just like you were saying, Bert. That's you all's role as a board and the policymakers to figure out where is the line that makes sense for the town of Hennessey. Because again, you can go wild, you can go no policy at all, we're just not gonna require it at all, to we're gonna require for every single thing, and neither of those are probably the right answer. So you all, you know, obviously we can help get you some things, let you know what other people are doing, hopefully OMAC can come and talk a little bit, and let you know, of course, they're gonna be very risk averse, they're gonna take more of my, you know, pipe dream scenario and say, well, that's what you ought to do, but you've still gotta find that balance that works for you.
I'd like to see what some other towns do on it.
I would too.
We'll work on it.
Thank you. 6.6, discussion with possible action to delete Title III, subsection 31.035, 31.036, and 31.037 from the Hennessey Code of Ordinances, which would remove the office manager position from the code. If approved, this will be brought back in ordinance form at the next meeting for official approval.
So I put this on the office manager in there. It's in the code book. None of the other employees are listed in here. That's number one reason. The other one is I would like to do away with, and I've talked to Shelley, I want to pull Shelley into a different role where I think she would really bloom. She loves events. She loves working with people. It would be kind of an economic development kind of event coordinator, kind of like a town, I can't remember what I called it, kind of like a
Liaison's the word you gave me.
a community liaison person. So like she would communicate with the businesses. She could go to Jack and go, Jack, you know, what can the town do for you to help you in your business, to help your business thrive? I mean, that was my main, and I went to an economic development with the Department of Commerce, and they talked about this stuff, and I'm like going, you know, to businesses and seeing, because you want to keep your current businesses. Yeah, you would like for new businesses to come in, but your first focus should be on the businesses that you already have. And so working with this, I thought, you know, that would be something that Shelley could do that would really, you know, because she loves to come up with unique ideas. She likes to, you know, she has some off the wall ideas sometimes, but you know what? They seem to really go through. So But I thought this would be a place that she could really thrive. In here now with the staff that we have and everything, I really think that she would serve the town, and I think this would serve her well, getting her out there and communicating with not only the businesses, like, you know, the 4th of July. She's already come up with all kinds of stuff for the 4th of July after her and I started talking. She's got vendors coming, she's got all kinds of stuff. Town sponsored, but this would be like her, you know, like she would be able to help with, you know, anything like Hennessey United needs for the wine festival or anything. You know, we went through the car show, you know, and I went to those meetings. What can the town do? She would be the person who would connect with those organizations to help with that. And so that's why I have brought this here. I didn't know how else to bring it to you guys, but that's how and if you'll notice on the pay scale, it has office manager and it has a line through it, and then it has the community liaison person in there, coordinator. So.
I mean, I agree with you. We have to figure out a way to keep businesses in Hennessey. And where you're getting, it feels like more and more town events. I really, really enjoy that for this town. I mean, it already feels like a very tight-knit community, and I think that's part of what makes Hennessey special.
I agree.
So, I mean, I think expanding on that is a great idea. And, you know, I agree with you. I think she'd be great at it. She's already doing it.
Yes, she is, but she could
So-
do it in official capacity.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this way she would be able to do those things in official capacity.
And on my side, you know, our job is promotion and outbound communication and things like that. So I've always had the idea of some kind of a 4th of July parade, if you would. And she's already made this into some epic event that I never would have had the time to, you know, call all these people and make all these arrangements and things like this. We can't call it 4th of July. It's
Stars, stripes, and small town nights.
there you go. So, because it's not on the 4th. So, this would be an enormous asset to what I'm already doing, making things better and bigger and bringing more participation in and things like that, so.
So I've got a question. I'm gonna back up an agenda item. Because that sounds great, and could more things be town-sponsored, working through Shelley in that position so our insurance does cover?
And that's what I brought up, the whole Discover Hennessey, like the tourism part of the town.
Right.
It could go under that umbrella of that Discover Hennessey tourism stuff.
Well, you know, we all know that us getting a major business to come into the community is, I'm not gonna say it's not possible, because it is, it's not too likely. So I think Hennessey has to market our special events and our things that we do to get other people here. The car show is a prime example. The wine festival, prime example. The rodeo, once again, all of those things. But if those could be pulled in, town co-sponsored or something, maybe Jared, when you're doing some research on that, you could come back to us with what that might look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
We'll
think
check.
that we get insurance for the wine festival. I mean, we did.
Hennessey
I
United.
was adamant about
Yes,
that.
no, the wine festival does. They'll just have to, from now on, put the town of Hennessey as the additional insured.
Okay,
That's the only
It
thing
really
with it.
doesn't cost
Yeah, okay.
anything extra.
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
'cause that's.
But there's
different-
other
that's a
events
different-
that they make, you know, like the Easter egg hunt,
course,
the
yeah.
different things. The Easter egg hunt, you know, different things like that, depending on the policy that the board develops. It may be that it could
What
be
could it be
brought.
like the Hennessey Lions Club Easter egg hunt in conjunction with the town of Hennessey?
Well, you've complicated it because now it's a joint event.
Okay,
Um,
I'll
You know,
let you
and then-
gues deal
then
with
just-
that, I don't
Yeah.
want,
Just
I
being
don't
the
wanna
level I get in
complicate.
the room, the other thing that just hits me that just trying to think through the problem side of it is, you know, the question of if we're trying to push all of these events under the town of Hennessey, at what point in time are we starting to act not like a town and do not town things? And we've really screwed up a lot more. Not to say it's still not worth looking at, but like, that's the big thing that's bouncing around in my head that we need to make sure we explore as we try to do that to make it where it all works.
Right.
You know, it's just another piece of the puzzle that we gotta figure out.
Well, I know Lions Club has a liability policy through Lions International for Easter egg hunts and fireworks shows and whatever. But, okay.
You're
I
also
just
gonna
wanted to
be
throw that
splitting,
out.
you're also gonna be splitting hairs, what the town ends is gonna sponsor versus what
Well,
they ain't.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we probably need to come up with
Because you can't sponsor everything.
a few major events that,
Well, and I think that that's where some of that extra tourism money could be utilized too, is things like that, so. I mean, in conjunction with the whole advertising of them. So,
I'll shut it.
but I also, but she is still gonna be court clerk, so she's still gonna do, like, it's not a full-time job, it's just a part, but she's still gonna be court clerk, she's still gonna do that, she's still gonna help us in here. Like, it's not just totally, I mean, but I want her to focus on like a community liaison, because I know that there's some local businesses that are struggling, and I really want the town to go out and try to see what we can do to help them. Because our livelihood is those businesses too.
Absolutely.
So.
I make a motion to have an ordinance prepared to delete Title III subsection 31.035, 31.036, and 31.037 from the Hennessey Town Code of Ordinances to be presented at our next regular meeting.
A second.
Bert,
Yes.
John,
Yes,
Randy,
Yes.
Harold.
Yes.
6.7, discussion on re-implementing an alcohol beverage tax.
So,
Were you able to print that out?
yes, right here.
Okay, sweet.
So Jared got us some samples from Watauga and,
Drummond is the other one
Drummond.
I grabbed. Kingfisher and Watauga are very similar. But then I've seen another town just very, very recently that made a change that just made every single one of them $35. So there's these wide ranges. This is generally, if you go look at our code right now and most any other code around, it's called one of the occupational taxes. Obviously, everybody refers to it as the alcohol or liquor tax, because it involves distillers, breweries, retail package stores, you know, just all of those different levels. For whatever reason, somebody else will have to fill in the blanks. From the code we've got at least sitting there right now, we didn't repeal it, it just looks like we made the price of zero for everything. So it's whether we want to implement that stuff to help generate a little bit more revenue. Just, you know, generally with those kinds of businesses, you end up having, not the business owner's fault by any means, but just crime involved with that. People have to break into liquor stores and things like that, so that's where a lot of these things have come from. So they put this annual fee essentially on, and then that helps offset some of those costs that may come up because of that. Randy and Tiffany just brought it up and said, hey, why don't we have anything there? And I don't know, I can't answer that question. So just wanted to provide you what some other communities are doing, so if you were interested in looking at doing something with that, you could give us that guidance and pick a town to start with, and we could kind of use that and then maneuver the numbers around a little bit.
I'm gonna back up to agenda items. Under special event, $25 per event. If we give someone a special event permit to sell, say, beer, does that pull us in and make us more liable because we allowed them to do that?
I mean, it's going to be something that's brought up. Were we negligent in anything? Were we the proximate
Right.
cause? Let's get into all those nasty legal words that
Right.
nobody likes to talk about. I mean, you're gonna get sucked into it. If
'Cause
they're gonna have
somebody-
alcohol, we want them to have an insurance policy.
Right, well,
Like-
yeah,
like
I
we
mean,
want to
because
have that.
somebody drinks too much, has an
Exactly.
accident, town of Hennessey, you issued them a permit, you got compensated for that permit, so,
I think a lot of this too is to make sure that all of them are licensed and stuff by the
Right.
Able Commission
Right.
and to verify
And
the sales tax and
Yeah.
all of that. I think that that's why, these were initiated to begin with, is to
Yeah.
make sure that businesses are operating, individuals at events are operating with the proper licensure.
Yeah, plenty of different reasons behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, for whatever reason, somebody decided years ago that we'll make the price zero essentially, and that's what we've been operating under. So,
So with this, for the wine festival in particular, would everyone coming in for that have to be required to get the permit prior to the wine festival?
I'm going to pull up that email I sent, just so I'm not shooting from the
Oh,
hip.
here, Jared.
Oh, I've got it.
Okay, well, it's just like, I know, back in these were done away with, I would say about 2010. And back then, we did not have a special event category. It was anyone who it was when beer, they had Low Point Beer, and then they had, retail stores, and things like that. Special event was not on there. So I think
Yeah, and that's just something somewhere else had, so it doesn't mean that's what you have.
you don't have to have it, but it
Right.
would be
But-
per, each person
Right. If-
would
if
have to
they're
get that.
wanting to come in and be a vendor, you need to do that. That way we have that chance to verify you're in compliance with ABLE and all of those different things. So yeah, for something like the wine festival, where you probably got several vendors coming in, you would get several permits issued there. A lot of times you won't see that, because if somebody comes in and does an event, they're gonna bring one group in to come, do the open bar, the cash bar,
Sure.
or whatever. So it's just that one. I
So
think the
the
wine
event,
festivals,
people who are holding the event would have to do that?
people who are
Selling.
going to be selling or
I know, but
issuing.
they
the
have to
stuff.
make sure,
Well,
I mean,
I mean, I think it's ultimately on whoever is selling.
Well,
But I would think as
That's
the group
right,
putting it on,
yeah.
you would want to say, so you keep in
well,
good
that's-
relations with everybody. Hey, just so you know, this is out there, you need to go get it taken care
Hey,
of.
by the way, we're charging you a booth $350, but we also got a town permit that you gotta buy also.
Exactly. And again, they can drop the special permit one because it doesn't make sense for Hennessey. I mean, that's
Sure.
what you always gotta look.
Yeah,
at.
I mean,
Just
that's
because
just-
That's what somebody else did, doesn't mean it fits here.
Or even $5 just to make sure that they have all their credentials. I mean,
Well, or it's
or if,
just bring us all your
Credentials.
credentials.
Yeah.
Now, we're spending staff time on that, and that's where, that's worth something. We're pulling someone off of other duties. But is it worth doing that so we get these cool events to come to town?
I don't
Or,
think
like, it's just that-
$25
again,
is
it's that
gonna
balance.
stop a vendor.
no, I was just,
No,
it's something that we would have to, advertise to the vendors, to reach out to
Sure.
them and let them know.
Absolutely.
But I was just curious on that.
Well, and I'll bet you most of those, they see this everywhere else. They
Probably.
probably ask the question, where do we need to go about this for Hennessey? And somebody's like, oh, you don't have to, we don't have one. Oh, okay, and then
Sure.
they're fine with it.
yes, those that have businesses
Mhm.
or sell, they're fine. It's the people who want to come in and have cookies or something like that and give them away and then sell them, that,
Well, they wouldn't fall under it because
If it wasn't-
this is an
unless it had
alcoholic,
liquor in it, okay.
this is an alcoholic
And we also
beverage
have
town.
people that come in and just give away free samples. They don't sell anything. They don't sell any wine
Yeah,
at our wine festival
I would think on
because they're
that-
not licensed.
Yeah, it's.
We do have people in town that I'm pretty sure that do that.
so if they don't sell it, would it be considered an occupation?
No, well, That's why they don't sell it. That's what they were told. They can give it away, but they can't sell it.
And that was by the state.
And I'm not sure.
If it's
so.
still, like,
Yeah.
I don't fully understand able rules, never have really tried because it's complicated.
Sure.
They kind of run their own thing.
Yeah.
So if Able told them that, great, but it would be nice that we could get that in writing from somewhere, just that way we have it in the file
Sure.
for future use.
Okay.
I guess the question is it something you're interested in to bring back next meeting, or do you wanna think on it and tell us later if you want us to bring you something back? And then if you do, who do you kinda wanna model it after with what's there?
I think we should have something. I don't think that the cost should be prohibitive or a burden to our local businesses. But I think we need some sort of permit, just so that exactly what you said, that we're checking their credentials and their licenses,
So
making sure.
Do you like the idea of the other town that it just basically was 35 down the list? And it doesn't have to be 35, obviously, it could be 25 or 10 or 2 or whatever. But just something relatively nominal that gets them to come in the door, that we've at least recouped our costs because we're gonna have staff time looking at that.
I'm looking here at Watonga, retail store selling wine and beer with no on-site consumption, $250. I feel like that's a little high. The retail package store at $100, to me, I would think that a convenience store selling beer for off-site consumption shouldn't be any more than a package store. You know, $250 seems a little much to me. I don't know what their state licenses cost.
Well, and we don't have to touch on all these. We could put them in bigger groups if we would like to do that.
I wanna see how Able does have it broken down, that would be one thing I'd wanna look at and see if maybe, I would bet this kinda lines out with the different groups that Able has, but I'm gonna guess that there's no reason you couldn't say, you know, brewers, distillers, winemakers are all this.
One category.
So, you know, either we kinda do group them, or you just start to go down the list and they're all the same price within whatever that category you decide is.
There's a report that comes every year that we have to fill out, and we just put all zeros because we don't have any fees. And so this looks very familiar to that form that comes from the Able
Could we
Commission.
just bring this back next month and go in and the board discuss the individual pricing on each item and put
Yep.
that in? And
Yeah, I can get draft ordinance pulled
Because
together, it
it-
just has blanks there, and that's enough for you all to be able to discuss and then pass something if you're able to.
it'd probably be nice to implement it July 1st so that
You-
it would coincide with our fiscal year? Or would that matter?
I
It
mean,
would be
probably-
cutting it close.
Yeah, it would be hard,
It may
especially-
be
well,
like August 1st or something like that, but because by the time publication, you pass it and publication and all of
Yeah,
that.
you
So
have 30 days, you have to
Yeah.
declare it an emergency to get in faster, and I think you're better off on something like that, just from, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't understand necessarily city hall operations and how that all works, perfectly, but I would think it might be easier to have it be, they're always due on August 1 or whatever, that way you've got a 1 or 2 week period in there that's kind of busy with it, and then you don't have to worry about it, but maybe it's easier on city staff to see one here and see one there, that way you kind of deal with it all the time.
most of our occupational licenses are good from July 1 to June 30th.
Well,
So
if
it'd be
we
easier
implemented
because you
August
send one letter
1st,
out to
Tiffany,
everybody.
could we prorate it and sell them an 11-month license if you'd like for it to come due?
I feel like.
I feel like if they all came due at the same time, then staff's not having to keep up with XYZ's licenses out in March and.
Well, that's
You
why,
know,
that's
this
why
one
all of
may-
our licenses, plumbing and all of that is up June
Fiscal year,
30th.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes a ton of sense to me.
And this is, other than the special event, this is an annual
Correct.
amount, right? Okay.
So what I will draft is that it runs July 1 to June 30, but will be prorated on the date of issuance or whatever for that first year. So that way, whenever we do get it active, it's automatically there and meant to be prorated, and it works that way going forward
Can
as
we
well.
prorate, like, because we do have, like, you know, you take, say, this year when Sarah bought the liquor store, if that would have been this year, like, if it's middle of the year when they get a new business or something like that, can it be prorated?
That's what I was saying, just have
Okay,
it be,
okay.
it's
Not just
prorated
the-
based off of whenever you issue it to that person,
Okay.
to that group. That, you know, so if it's halfway through the year, if it's 3/4 of the way, it just kind of automatically prorates it.
Okay,
That way they're paying the same amount as everybody.
Okay.
You know, on a ratio at least.
So we'll table that. Move on to 7, new business. Any matter not known which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda in accordance with section 311-9, title 25 OS. Number 8, councilperson's report. Harold?
I'm good.
Bert?
Nothing.
John?
Nothing?
I have nothing as well. Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Okay, it just signed me out. This thing's acting weird
You're
today.
in.
What do you mean?
Does that mean I can go home?
Stop it. There we go. Okay, save. And action. You're good.
I'm still trying to get back.
you let it go to
You wanna
sleep.
borrow mine?
I didn't go to sleep. It was just it like froze when I tried to move to the other agenda. Okay, I'm ready now. Okay, welcome to the Town of Hennessey Utility Authority Board of Trustees regular meeting, Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. Council room, 6 p.m. Call to order and roll call, please.
Randy,
Here.
Bert,
Here.
Harold,
Here.
John,
Here?
Hazel.
2, consider approval of consent agenda. 2.1, minutes of the previous month's meetings. 2.2, approval of claims as follows. Hennessey Utility Authority Fund, $87,123. Previous month's Utility Authority Fund, $425.20. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Randy,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
Bert.
Yes.
Number 3, citizens' comments.
I have one. All About Hennessey is gonna sponsor a town hall meeting for the 522 district. We encourage everybody to come, and ask questions, and we'll try to, make sure that everybody gets all of their questions answered and things like that.
Is that going to be on the June ballot?
June ballot,
I
yes.
have seen nothing about
Well,
it.
that's,
Where's this gonna be?
we don't have the
At
exact,
the office? Okay,
No, we haven't. No, it'll be a public
it'll be a public building.
place. Okay.
But it's not really the town sponsoring it because it's not town stuff. So that's why it's all about Hennessey.
Is it in church?
so this is just gonna be. So
It's just gonna be an informational meeting. Yes.
Hi, Carol.
Somebody might throw something.
Huh?
Won't be liquor then, is what I'm saying. Okay.
Do you have any comments on that?
I'm sorry, did you have a date?
No,
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll have to do it pretty quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be determined. Okay. Move on to other scheduled business. 4.1, discussion with possible action to accept the REAP grant K125-1 AMI System Completion Project complete and request closeout of the grant.
The bulk water station is working, credit card machine and all, so it is good to go, and we have to have your blessing to show that it's done and close it out.
I make a motion to accept the REAP grant K125-1 AMI system completion project complete and request closeout of the grant.
Second.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert,
Yes.
Harold,
Yes.
John.
Yes,
I kinda got messed up on my grants.
Okay. So for some reason the pay scale's under new
I
business.
think I might have like hit a wrong button when I submitted
That's okay.
it, so you can just skip over it.
Yeah, we decided to table that until next month anyway, so. New business. Nothing. Council person's report. Harold? Bert? Don? I have nothing either. I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Randy,
Yes.
Bert.
Yes.
John,
yes.
Harold.
Yes.